Grumpy is Gamer welcoming you to our look at Rise of Industry. Now, Rise of Industry is a pre release game. It is early access, and we're at Alpha 6 in this version. I have had a look at the game in the tutorial, and it does look like a lot of fun. However, having said that, I would have to say that I'm a bit nervous at this stage because it looks like we've got a 50-50 chance between being successful and being a complete failure. But there's only one way to find out, and that's to play the game. So grab a cuppa and let's have a look at Rise of Industry, our first episode. Here we are. I've taken the liberty of getting past the start menu. I chose the career path and I put the difficulty on normal. And normal gives us $7,500,000 to get along with. And it also gives us, if we just go up here to the tech tree, 2 free unlocks to pick for the start of our empire. So let's kick off by giving ourselves a name. And I'm going to go with Grumpy's map on this one. Very good. And I have picked the town of Tavistock to start our empire. So just quickly having a look at Tavistock, we are close to a couple of other towns. Hayton is there, Saffron to our north, Helen's down here, and Southwark quite some distance away. So having a look at Tavistock then, we are defined, our borders are defined around here following this line. So we have got, that's an interesting dog leg, that one. We've got a reasonable area, not huge, but reasonable. And next to that area is Hayton over here. And the Turberry Planning Office, which is just in this little section here. Ooh, that's an interesting, that is an interesting thing. Let's just go down here for a minute. You know what? Just having seen that, see the region goes through there, up here. Actually, where's it go down there? It goes across here. So it includes all that region over there as well, and up here. Ooh. No, I think I'm going to go with Tavistock. Although, if I go in the middle in the Turberry Planning Office, I am very close to both Hayton and Tavistock. Let's just have a quick look at this for a second. In the farmers market for Tavistock and the farmers market for Hayton. Let's just do a quick compare there. Beef, milk, vegetables in both, sugarcane in both, fish in one. They're actually pretty good. I mean, we've got grapes in one. Berries. That's looking promising. Okay, I think I've just changed my mind on that one. And we're going to go and put our headquarters smack bang in the middle between Hayton and Tavistock so we can get the benefit of operating in both towns. So let's start off, first of all, by putting our headquarters down here, and let's get ourselves a water view right at the edge of the Turberry Planning Office. We have headquarters. Okay. looking pretty good. So now let's have a look at what we want to produce first. I have played the game previously in tutorial mode, and I did try to be a generalist across industry and farming and those sorts of things, and I found that that didn't work particularly well. Vegetables in Tavistock. So I decided in this game that I would specialize, and I've always fancied the farming life. So I'm going to become a mega farmer in this game if all goes well. And we have vegetables in Hayton. So we have two towns very close to us, each of which will take vegetables. So I think we're going to do that. And vegetables, actually, let's just leave that for a second. And let me just show you something very quickly. If you look at vegetables in the farmer's market, and this is what they call the recipe for making vegetables. This square here represents one paddock or field, if you prefer, and one unit of water in a field 25 days later will produce 3 units of vegetables. And each unit of vegetables, if I'm reading this correctly, is $2,707. So that stands to make us a reasonably good amount of money. One field every 28, 25 days will produce what each of these towns, Hayton and Haverstock, will need in a week. And we also know from past experience that a water siphon with one water collector will produce 10, what am I saying? Will produce 1 unit of water every 10 days. So every month you'll get 3 units of water. So that means that one water siphon will provide 3 fields of vegetables with enough water for a month. And that will give us 3 times 3 is 9. So we're looking pretty good to start there with vegetables. So that will be our first thing that we'll do. We'll get stuck straight into vegetables. So, as I said before, we have 2 free unlocks. Water is an unlock for us. In livestock, we also have fish is an unlock and water again in drinks. So we're going to go and unlock vegetables and get straight away into making some vegetables to sell to our towns, and that'll get us off to a nice financial start. I actually forgot. The other thing we need to do is to drop our monthly R&D cost down to $50,000 when we start, because we only have the 7,500. We will be paying immediately for the cost of building our farms and the roads that we need to service them. We're also going to be paying for the upkeep of them and the trucks that we use to take our goods to and from the various farmers markets. So we do need to be mindful of the dollars, because after all, the bottom line is what counts here. So let's get our plans underway by first of all putting in a water siphon to collect water for our farms. And I think that this area here could be a good look for putting in our water siphon. A water siphon, along with other things, including copper mines, gas pumps, lumber yards, which we'll come back to in a little minute to have a look at, oil drills, sand collectors, water siphons. They're in what's known as gatherers, i.e. they collect things that already exist on the map. So we put in a siphon. Now we notice that the light area around the siphon is the area of influence where we can place things for that siphon. So I'm going to include what's on the other side of the road, i.e. the north side of the road, as well as what's on our side of the road, if you like, and put that right there so that we can collect. Now, what pops up when you put down the siphon is the gatherer, if you will. And we're going to put that right there, trying to conserve as much space as we can as we go along so that we leave room for future expansion. So now we're going to just join those up with a dirt road. And I'll just show you a little tricky thing here that caught me off guard the other day when I was playing the tutorial, where we put a road in and we think we've connected up the collector and the siphon. But what we find is, if you look here, the tracks on the road don't actually meet. But when we run over the roads, notice how they join up? And that there means that those two roads won't connect. And therefore, there'll be a problem with our setup and our deliveries, and they won't happen, basically. So now we're going to put in our crop farm. And this is going to be for our vegetables. And again, I'm going to try and save as much space as I can when I set this up to allow for future expansion. So I'm going to orient it this way. And from the road, I'm going to leave 5 squares, 2, 4, 5 squares for the field. I'm trying to maximize the space that we have available. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just put fields in. 1, 2, 3. Right. Maximum number of fields for our vegetable farm has been allocated. We now join the farm to the water siphon and both of those to the main road, which gives us the ability to go both to Hayton and up here to our friends in Tavistock. Now, we need to set up a flow of deliveries and production. So automatically, the water collector goes to the water siphon. But in the water siphon, we need to set up where our destination is. And at this stage, we only have one. It's a farm, and it's our crop farm, which is 10 tiles away. Now, the dispatch level is a ratio, which you can use to decide. Say we had 2 destinations here. If this was a dispatch level of 2 and this was a dispatch level of 1, twice as many trucks would go here as go there. So this doesn't mean one truck. It means one compared to the rest of the destination. So we're going to our crop farm, and our crop farm, which produces vegetables, needs to go. Actually, I'm going to go to the commercial sector And I think we'll send one to Tavistock and hmm, one to Hayton. Yeah, I think we should go one to Hayton, which is closer. Now, just for information, while we were there, the state which is available to us, which is north, one is north and one is east, but as you can see from the distance in tiles, they're a fair way away. They are actually the edge of the map. They will take goods that we can't sell to anybody else, but they will only pay half the commercial rate for products that we produce and sell to them. So in that sense, they're a purchaser of last resource, if you like, and we wouldn't use them as long as we can go commercial. So we are done with that. So we're going to sell to both towns. Now, that's not going to provide us with enough money to actually make a decent living. So let's just go over here for a second and see what's in the hardware store because they need wood. Now, wood is a straight up gathering exercise, which comes from the lumber yard. And it's good because you don't have to provide it with water. All you have to do is set the gatherers out and it goes and collects the wood. So we're going to set up a lumber yard and we will set up our lumber yard right here, I think. Yep, right here. That puts us on the main road to start with. Uh, mm, uh, uh, no, I don't think so. Okay, let's go. Actually, if I go there, I run the risk of blocking off some water gatherers, siphons. So I think maybe here. We can connect to the main road there, and we've got, actually, that's an interesting question. Does Helen's what wood? 3 per week. I don't know that I want to go heavily into production of lumber or timber. Here we need 4 per week. And lumber produces one every 10 days, 30 days in a week. So one collector will produce 3. And in the beginning, I can only have 3 collectors. So I will get 3 threes and 9. So I'll get 2 and a bit weeks worth of production for the town of Tavistock each month. I think that's what we will do. And we will set it up down here because timber's not urgent. And just quickly going to check there again for one more thing. Timber is 2,695. Vegetables are 2,400. Both reasonably good, both about the same value. Okay, so that's not bad. Let's go and set up our timber down here. Set our lumber yard up so that we cover as much of our area as we can. Like so. And now we need to set in the collectors. So we need to orient that so we can run our roads together and spread it out as much as we can down here. So right on the edge of the collection area. And then Actually, let's overlay them so that we can produce as much timber as is possible in a small area. Okay, we need roads, $6.7 million left. Quite the thing spending money, isn't it? And we just join the collectors up. And then we'll join these up. And then we will connect via this way to the road. Again, trying to optimize. No, I don't like that. Where's that going? I can't see for the trees. Oh, I see. Okay. We are connected. Okay, so when the game starts up, we've got a lumber yard and we've got vegetables. Right. Now, in addition to that, we also need to give our lumber yard a destination. And we did say, ooh, Hayton is closer. No, Hayton and Tavistock, same distance. Interesting. Let's go to Tavistock first off. Single direction there. And I think I would like to get another vegetable farm going, actually. Let's just have a look at that for a second. If we have a maximum of 5, we can go out this side of the farm. So if we build another farm, we can put it up here. I like it. Let's do that. So we'll put in another water collector. Or sorry, a harvester. We will build another farm up there. And let's do that by putting in the road to define where it goes. Such like that. Okay. A new crop farm, which will go there. Did I just mess that up? I did by 1, but there you go. I'm not going to undo it. We will survive even though I'm untidy. Okay. We go back here, check out where our water is going to. Okay. We will go to our second farm, 15 tiles away. And because they're both 1, the water will be equally distributed between the 2 vegetable farms. And let's just check this crop farm. Yes, we went to both Tavistock and Hayton, so we'll do the same with this farm. So 1 commercial to Tavistock and then 1 commercial to Hayton. Okay, we've got water going to our farms and we've got lumber going to our cities as well as our vegetables going to 2 cities. Now, what is the next thing that we would like to research? Because we need to set up some research going forward. So we've got vegetables. Now let's just check our towns again. I think we should look at the money, return on investment at this stage. And it's, gosh, cocoa, berries, they're good. Over $5,000 each. Now, we could look at beef. The difficulty with beef is that the inputs for beef are quite expensive to set up and maintain. We need tons of wheat plus water. We end up with some very good money producing items, but the cost to set them up is high. Bearing in mind too that in the terms of wheat, you also need one water for every three wheat. So in order to produce the cows that we need, well, that's going to be two wheat farms, which is two water, one water there. So that's three water plus four wheat gives us a cow, which means we get these three items. This item here in particular, though, isn't on demand or in demand at either of the towns near us. So that's a very expensive structure to set up. Whereas if you look at these two items here, cocoa and berries, for example, it's two water. It's a little bit more, well, it is more expensive than vegetables, but the inputs required are less. So I think for us, okay, it's cocoa and berries. Cocoa and berries. That's at Tavistock. Let's see at Hayton. Berries and no cocoa. That solves it for me. It's going to be berries. So we'll take our free plantation production there for berries. Okay, that'll be our next development. And then on top of that, what are we actually going to want to develop first? Fields and harvesters. Fields and harvesters. You know what? It would be better to produce more water in our harvesters. This would give us an extra two harvesters for our water siphons. And that reduces our cost because if you have to build siphons, which are, let's just have a look, water gathering siphon is $125,000, whereas adding on a harvester is $100,000. So we could add, well, it doesn't matter because to add even one more, it's going to take us over 100 for the siphon and 100 for the harvester. So it's much cheaper to improve that. So I think research-wise, that's what we're going to do. Now, quite good is that if you want to develop these down here, your coastal harvesters, which also do rivers, we can click on that and it will include the research that's needed to get to that point. So we've already queued up two bits of research that need doing, and that's where we'll leave that. So we've got our tech set up, and I think we're ready to start. at $6.4 million. And I'm not even sure if this is going to be profitable or not. So let's kick it off and see how we go on number one speed. And we are waiting to see our trucks start off. The first ones, of course, will be from the water harvesters, because as you can see here, both the harvesters have started collection. And when each of those are full, then a truck will head off to the water siphon, and then from the water siphon to the farm. Actually, while we're waiting, let's just give our farms a better name. Vegetable Farm 1. Kind of makes more sense. Vegetable Farm 1. And this can be Vegetable Farm 2. And that will make now nicely when you go to your water siphon and have a look at where you're going to, it's also updated the names. Makes it much easier to keep track of things. Now we'll come down here to our lumber yard. Our lumber yard is already producing. It's got 3 timbers underway, and that will be going to the Tavistock hardware shop. And here comes the first water, and our first paddock or field, depending on which country you come from, is well underway. And that's good. Okay. We are producing. Now, we're 31 minutes into the video. We've got set up, we've started. We're $6.4 million left in our kitty, and we haven't sold anything yet. So I think this is probably a good point to stop the video for today. It's our first episode, Rise of Industry, and I would have to say so far so good, although whether that continues or not remains to be seen. But thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're going to find the series interesting, and I suspect I'm going to find it pretty challenging. We've just moved into February, and we are in the red, $26,000 and going up. So let's wait and see what happens in the next episode. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, please press the like button. And if you feel so inclined, thank you for subscribing. But wait, there's more. I noticed when I was doing the editing that my cell phone went off and was picked up by my microphone halfway through the recording of this episode. I'm lazy and I'm not going to cut it out. But what I am going to do is, if anyone can tell me the name of the ringtone that I use and where it comes from, I'll give you a shout out in the next episode. So good luck with that, and see you in the next ep.